Howdy folks, welcome back to World of Tanks with the mighty Jingles. How about a bit of Tiger 2 action? Yeah? These are two games that I played in my Tiger 2 very recently, one after the other. And I do like this tank, and I really don't play it enough. We're here on Ensk. It's a tier 9 game, 3 tier 9s on each side. The majority of both teams are tier 8. Standard battle. No encounter surprises. And since I'm in a heavy tank, I'm going to head down to the middle and fight it out with the enemy heavies. That's the plan anyway. Not going down here alone. A bit worryingly, it's only our tier 8s and 7 heavies. Our tier 9s are all, well, elsewhere. I'll go for the outside road wheel. The outside drive wheel on the M103 because I was never going to penetrate his frontal hull from that angle. But I miss. Now, shooting through the inside drive wheel will penetrate the lower glacis behind the drive wheel, as well as blow his tracks off. And he's been set on fire, which is nice. And he is not using a fire extinguisher on a tier 9 heavy tank. Oh well. Oh, KV4. Bit of a snapshot. Went through, got him anyway. Now, I angle my hull, and my tracks take that one from the enemy Tiger 2, and there's another one set on fire who doesn't believe in using fire extinguishers. Now he's in a pretty bad way, and I took a shot in my fuel tanks, almost got set on fire by that KV4 behind us. The T-34 and the Tiger 2 are now both popping out, taking shots at me. Wait to reload. Tracks are back up. I've got to nail this guy. Right, he's gone. Taking cover behind the T-28 prototype. Because the T-34's ready to fire again. The KV4's just taken a shot. Screw this, I'm backing off. There are far too many big tanks. All shooting at me. In cover again. Totally donked that shot on the T-34, but angle. So all you can do is... Oh crap, there's a Conqueror behind me. And everybody around me is dying. I only have 359 health left. Can I get this T-34 before he reloads? Yes, I can. Back up into cover again. They're all coming for me now. If I can just kill one more of them. T-54E1's going for me. But he pauses to take some pot shots. And the guy's behind me. I get my gun back up. Kill the KV4. And then the T-54E1 nails me. Now this guy's on 3 kills. I've done 2,737 damage in a tier 9 game on the Tiger 2, so I'm pretty happy with that result. And we could have still won this. ISU 152? What are you doing? Turn around! He could have had the T-54E1 instead. Now watch this. Now it's difficult to be too critical about this M103 driver, but look, T-54E1 there on 342 health, he's right behind him. He can one-shot him, and instead everybody is just fighting their own little battle, instead of backing each other up. And of course, the M103 did have 3 tanks in front of him, so it is difficult to be too critical. But what ended up happening was everybody left on our team was fighting their own little battle, outnumbered, against the remaining tanks on the enemy team, and the enemy team just took them apart one by one. These guys didn't back each other up at all. M103 is now facing off against the Super Pershing, and the Super Pershing was firing some very, very good shots. Initially I thought, well, he's just using premium ammo. he actually isn't. He's just placing his shots very, very well indeed. And the M103, well, yeah. So that was a bit disappointing. Yeah, we all love those 50,000 credit, 1150 XP defeats, don't we? And yet more XP on a defeat than 2/3 of the enemy team got for winning. And unfortunately, because I didn't get a Battle Hero award, 1150 XP is all I get. If I'd hit one more, if just one of those shots, 2 shots that I fired that missed, if one of those had hit, it would have been a sniper medal, and that would have been a 3000 XP game, easily. But it was not to be. So, take a brand again. Right, well, pretty much the same deal again. This is almost exactly the same matchmaking. It's mostly tier 8, 3 tier 9s on each side. We've got an E75, an IS-8, a Centurion 7-1. They have an IS-8, T30 and an ST1. And don't worry, I am an equal opportunity discriminator. I will be calling the ST1 an STI later on, just to make sure I piss everybody off. Okay? Good. It's an encounter battle here on Lakeville. Now, disappointingly, I'm watching our IS-8 make a beeline for the valley, backed up by a Centurion 1, and it looks like a T44. So, guys, it's encounter. But never mind. On the bright side, our Centurion 7-1 and E75 are coming with us into the town. We've got some pretty strong tanks coming into the town here. 2 Tiger 2s, an E75, Centurion 7-1, a 110. Our tank destroyers are taking up good position over here to put flanking fire into anybody fighting around that church. And not too many people have gone down the valley. I mean, 3 of our tanks, we can live with that. They actually end up doing quite a good job there, but more on that later. So we're heading into the town. E75 is not being shy, he's taking the lead. Our 5916 headed up to the church to try and get some initial spots on enemy tanks pushing into the cap circle. Even our stock Tiger 1 is getting stuck in. And there's the STI. There you go, I told you. He has a bit of a rage meltdown later on. Starts accusing people of firing gold at him. You know, and so what? It's in the game. People are going to fire it at you. Especially if you're driving a tank as heavily armoured as that. You have to expect people, especially the tier 7s and 8s in the match, to see you in front of them, and if they have any gold, they're going to load it. So, who's first? Now, you see these stone fence posts? They will stop a shell. Couldn't believe that. Perfect shot at the flank of that T44. And the stone balustrade ate it. So that was disappointing. But I got one at the AMX M4. And there's a hell of a fight broke out in the town here. Quickie Baby down there in his 110 putting flank and fire at the T30. And unfortunately I can't help him out without exposing myself to fire from, well, these guys here, T25-2 and AMX M4. AMX M4 just took up my observation devices. And I must admit, I did not expect... It's been a long time since I drove an AMX M445, and I know that their armour is garbage, but they've got a very, very good gun and they're quite fast. But I didn't expect his gun mantlet to take a shot from the Tiger 2's 105mm gun. My armour, on the other hand, has so far quite happily bounced everything they've fired at me. Unfortunately, the T25-2 has got the most troll gun mantlet in the game. The armour everywhere on the T25-2, with the exception of the gun mantlet, will never bounce a shot from anything. Oh, that was just... And again, disappointing. So my shooting hasn't been quite as good in this game as it was in the last one. And again, the side armour of the AMX M4 is garbage. I'm firing a 105mm gun. I would have expected to overmatch, but it just didn't happen. So instead, finally do what I should have done the first time and just plant one straight into his frontal glacis armour. The enemy have an IS-8, a Tiger II, a T-28 prototype, and I think a Tiger fighting it out in the valley. Why? I mean, what for? There's nothing there. It's the first damage in the game I've taken from the T-44. And now, what's... I'm going to keep this an external... The T-44 missed me! Did you see that? From 15 metres away, the T-44 missed the side of a Tiger II. I mean, I'm not complaining. That's it. I'm not allowed to complain about RNG anymore after that happened. That's just ridiculous. I'm not allowed to complain about stuff like this. Where did that go? It didn't even bounce. It just missed completely. I just... Ah. Anyway. But no, the T-44 just missed the side of my tank from 15 metres, so I'm not allowed to complain about the RNG on that Panther shot. Instead, I'll just finish off this T-25-2, who, ironically enough, is called Chuck Norris Lives. Well, he might, but you don't. Meanwhile, a third of the enemy team are still fighting it out in the valley and being held back. Well, they've finally killed our IS-8. There's a T-44 and a Centurion 1 holding back a third of the enemy team, tier 9s and 8s. Why? Why are they fighting there? Even if they push through, they've still got to drive away all the way around the map to get back into the town. At which point, we've killed everything here, and we're just sitting here waiting for you. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just glad they were on the enemy team. But they handed the game to us. You know, we had a thing or two to do with it as well. We fought and won against some very strong tanks here in the town. And we took some losses doing it. We lost a T-28 prototype, a Tiger and a Jag Panther. But we certainly gave better than we took. And even the enemy team are disgusted with their teammates, who are still fighting in the valley and are now surrounded. There's an AMX-48 managed to go around behind them. But a win's a win. And it wasn't a bad win. I'm certainly not complaining. And it's nice to finally get my first win of the day in the Tiger II. So, there isn't really any other way to put it. Thanks to the breathtaking ineptitude of almost a third of the enemy team in some of their strongest machines. I mean, a T-28 prototype, an IS-8, a Tiger II, fighting a meaningless battle in the valley and being fought to a standstill by 2 tier 8 mediums and an IS-8. They handed the game to us. And we had a hard fight in the town. There were some strong tanks in there as well, but we kicked their asses, and the remaining enemy tanks were left fighting a pointless battle miles away from where it mattered. And so that was a win, and 3,108 XP. Also happened to be the battle in which I finally passed the 50,000 damage done in 24-hour mark for a bonus 250,000 credits, which comes in nicely. Tiger II. It's just a great all-round tier 8 heavy tank. The armour is good, the gun is good, the mobility isn't bad. There's just nothing really wrong with the Tiger II. It's a great tank. I love it to bits. As always, folks, take care on that battlefield, and I'll catch you next time.